What is going on, guys? It is your boy Kamon, and I know Adamancipator in 2024 is crazy, but I was kind of like, yo, y'all know I like this deck a lot, bro. I think the deck is so sick. Unban the Block Dragon today. I'm one of those guys, bro. But I was messing around with some builds, and I'm just like, yo, I think I might have found the right build. So in Master Duel, I know you could play it with the prank kit stuff, which is pretty good. And you can also play with the sprite stuff. Nah, we're not doing that. We're gonna Calamities lock you, my boys. Let's get right into it. I'm gonna show you guys the main deck and extra deck. I'm gonna let you guys know now off rip. This deck is gonna be very expensive. Not the deck itself, because these cards are very, very cheap. But some of the cards that we are running in here is very expensive. So starting off with the monsters, obviously 3 Researcher, along with 3 Seeker, and then 3 Analyzer. So 3, 6, 9. These 9, you got to play them at 9 because you want to see them open your hand. The best card that you do want to see is Researcher. So if you guys do not know what these cards do, they all share the same on-field effect where you can excavate, not mill, not search. You excavate the top 5 cards of your deck. And if you hit a non-tuner rock monster, you could just summon it to your field. So only downside is if this uses effect and hits these 2, can't summon it. This hits these 2, can't summon it. This hits these 2, can't summon it. So keep that in mind, all right? They can summon any other rock monster in your main deck except for tuners. But don't worry, you have a lot of targets. Now, they each have a hand effect. Researcher is the best one. If you control a rock monster on your field, you could just summon this card from your hand. This effect does activate, so keep that in mind. What Seeker does, if you control an Adamancipator monster besides himself, you could just summon him to your field. That's what he does. And Analyzer is literally just Cyber Dragon. You know what I mean? You go in a second, you just be like, all right, summon. So yeah, that is what these do, and you want to maximize on these cards because you want to see them, and then you want to do your thing, and then yeah, the more earth, the more rocks you see, the better. And then obviously we're running off, I am playing the one Adamancipator Crystal Dragite. This is the best one to actually play, and you do have to run this card. I did low-key want to run the other ones, like the red one and the red and the green one, but those do not compare to this one. So what this one does, if it is summoned off of an Animator card effect, on summon you get to draw a card. That alone is broken, and it's a water, it's a rock level 4, so this counts as the water target in your graveyard for your Dragite synchro monster. So you want to keep that in mind with this card. Also in the graveyard, you could bounce back a Dragite or whatever, shuffle back a Dragite, and then put this back to the top of your deck. That's whatever, you can do that sometimes, but yeah, you should have a Dragite. So yeah, one of these. So these are the only Adamancipator names that you do play. It's 3, 6, 9, 10. You play these 10 right here. Nothing more, nothing less. So let's go on to the other stuff now. So obviously the best card in this deck is obviously I am running 3. I'm gonna butcher the name, but Cartheon. Okay, there we go. I got it. Cartheon, the hidden gem of the seafront. So this card is nuts. It's a level 2. It's a water and it's a rock type. So what it does, if it's in your hand, you can push this card from your hand to the graveyard. This turn, you get a additional normal summon of a rock and or water monster. So that alone is busted. This can unclog a lot of your hands, bro. And your targets are these and the stuff. Pardon me, in the main deck that you do want to use. The other effect is while it's in the graveyard, if you control a earth and a rock monster on the field, you can just summon this card from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. Obviously, if we had Sprite Elf, we would be playing that card in here, but that card is banned. But this card, nonetheless, is broken. Seeing this in your opening hand is super, super, super good. And putting it in the graveyard is another Dragite target because these are your 4 waters that you do play. So, yeah, nothing more, nothing less. I wouldn't change those cards out at all. I think they're really, really good. And now, one of the best starters in the deck is obviously triple Doki Doki. Now this card, what it does, you can discard 1 rock monster and then summon a rock monster from your deck to the field with the same level and type. So unfortunately, if you do have the Dragite in your hand, you can't pitch this and summon out Research because it's not a water. But what you can do, you could pitch this from your hand and then summon this from the deck because it's the same thing. So keep that in mind. But yeah, so this can kind of unclog a lot of your hand. This is a true 1-card starter. You go summon, effect, pitch, and then you just summon for free. So if you have a 2, you can summon another 2 if you want to. If you have a 4, you can summon a 4, then you Synchro Climb, hit each other. So yeah, just 3 Doki Doki. I wouldn't play this card at 2. Yes, it's good Ash bait, but you play so much Engine in this deck. If they want to Ash this card, bro, I'm all for it. And keep in mind, you do have that additional normal summon, so therefore you can normal summon again when to your next best card, which is obviously your 3 Queky Mir Guardian, and then obviously we're going to round it off with the 3 Queky Mir Supplier, and then the round off with the last Earth monster we are running, the 1 Gigantus. These are the only other Earth targets that you do run. You cannot hit Gigantus off of one of your Adamancipator monster effect because it can't be summoned except from banishing a card from the graveyard and then summon it from your hand. Also, when he dies, he destroys all spawn trackers in the field, so that's pretty cool. But he's in here because he is an extra extender, because there are times where you can't open up with him and or search him, and then you just kind of just summon him for free, and then you are good to go there. This Queky Mir Guardian negates monster effects, negates and destroys, so that's pretty good. It's not a hard once per turn. Supplier is very, very broken. When an Earth monster you control leaves the field, except during damage step, you can just summon this card from your hand for free. Then on special summon, you can search for this guy. You know what I mean? If you do want to play the other ones like Sandman and like Overlord or whatever, you can. But I think these are just fine. And yeah, so the best part about these, besides this, your Adamancipator engine can hit every single one of these cards. So that's 3, 6, 9, 12. That's 13 cards that they can hit off of their effect. So you have a lot of chances. And the best part is when you excavate, all the cards you excavated go to the bottom of your deck. So this deck is good because it does not lose to Droll. Not really. You do search here and there, sure, but it's like Droll is not the like end all be all for this deck. If you get Drolled, you can keep it pushing, brother. You know what I mean? So that's it for those. And now for the expensive stuff, the engine that I am running in here, I am actually running the Horus Engine. So the 3 setting and then the 1 Blessing. I'm not running Happy because I do not want to break on Happy. All I can say is this engine in here is fantastic, bro. It does so much for this deck. It's crazy. So like, you mainly want to use these to Synchro Climb. You know what I mean? And putting stuff in the graveyard is super good. There's been many times where I would draw M-Seti plus Dragite, or I would draw M-Seti plus Gem, and then putting them in the graveyard is still super good. You don't really neg whenever you do actually draw a Horus monster. Oh, drop the card. Ooh. Sorry about that. So you don't really neg, so I just think this engine in here makes this deck very, very, very playable. This is the only thing that you'll get drolled by, but it's like, even if you droll this after I use the effects to search and then draw, you're good. You're not really going to be searching anymore like that, bro. Because like, the only thing else I can really think of is like the Dragite. That's, you know, draw a card, sure. But 9 times out of 10, whenever I see the M-Seti and I see the Queky Mir Guardian, I always go Summon Guardian first, and then I go M-Seti effect pitch. You know what I mean? Because ashing this hurts, so Guardian is one of the best ways to kind of keep this safe. So if you do want to play this deck, I highly, highly, highly recommend playing it with the horror stuff in here, because again, it makes it a lot more consistent, and summoning these really, really big level 8 bodies is actually very, very, very important, bro. Super good, because think about it. This is an 8, this is a 2, this is a free Baron right here. This is an 8, this is a 4, that's a free 12. You know what I mean? Super, super good. And again, some of these are free. Doki Doki gets these from the deck. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it works. It definitely works, and I'm happy I kind of cooked it up a little bit. So that is it for the main deck. That's a lot of monsters. I'm not about to count, but that's a lot of monsters. But the thing about this deck, you always want to play a high monster count, especially of Earths, because you need cards to hit off of your Adamancipator cards. So, yeah, as it for those. Now, it's going on to the spell cards. We are playing 3 Droplet because if you notice, we're not playing any hand traps, so this is more of a kind of glass cannon, go for broke kind of deck. So, again, like I said before, for hand traps, I believe if you want to play hand traps, it's better to play like 9 to like 12 hand traps, because then you will get the most value out of them. So like, even if I replace this with just 3 Ash, what is 3 Ash going to do against my opponent? I might as well just let them set up and then drop with them and then play around their freaking board. You know what I mean? So 3 Droplet, I think is definitely a must of this format. It hits a lot of stuff, especially Fire Kings. During the damage step, it hits Fire King. So yeah. Next, we are playing 3 Adamancipator Signs. This card is broken, and this card is not once per turn. This card is super, super good. So what it does, if you can actually target one rock monster in your graveyard and summon it in defense mode to your field. Also, if you do target a Adamancipator monster in the graveyard, you can actually stack the top of your deck with a rock monster. So level 4 or lower rock monster. So keep that in mind. So usually a cool play that I do love doing in here is, let's say I draw one of the Adamancipators, right? Let's just say it's Researcher, because like we like Researcher. Let's just say this combo right here, right? This combo, and then like obviously like one card that you want to like discard to graveyard. It could be like Gem, sure, you know. This alone is a guaranteed thing, because you go, actually you want to discard that, you don't need the Gem. You can literally go M-Seti, pitch Researcher, search draw, then when you use your signs, bring this back, and then you can stack your Dragite on top of your deck. You know what I mean? Summon it to your field, draw a card, synchro into a 6. You know what I mean? So that's actually why I like running the Horus package in here also. It's phenomenal, bro. It's so good. It helps this deck out tremendously. Putting stuff in the like graveyard and making your signs live is just broken. And the best part about signs, if you didn't know, signs is not a hard once per turn. So you could do it, if you draw 3, you could be like signs effect summon, signs effect summon, signs effect summon. It's not a once per turn, so yeah, 3 signs, bro. Really good card. Then obviously we are only running 2 King Sarcophagus, only 2 of these, and then we are running 2 Tactics, because I don't want to, I think I'm running this card at 2 is just fine. You don't mill in this deck, you only draw and you excavate. So having 2 of this is just fine. I don't think you really need 3. I think 3 is kind of overkill in this deck, because like the Horus Engine is good, but you do want to rely on your Adamancipator stuff, because that is what gets you the wins and makes you big boards and whatnot. This is kind of just a like a emergency plan, you know what I mean? But yeah, talents is talents, bro. Like there's been many times where they would go Ash M-Seti without having a Guardian on field, so then I would go, all right, I go talents, show me your hand, or if I'm confident, I just draw, because this deck can play through a lot of interruptions. It's so crazy. And the next, for the one else, we are playing the one Synchro Rumble, because we do consistently summon out Crimson Dragon, and like we make calamities with that pretty easy. The one Called by the Grave, because hand traps are a thing, and I'm actually main decking the one Manadium Reframing, because this is searchable in this deck, and you do so much in here. Like, I like how this deck is built, bro. It's just so cool, bro. If this profile gets 100 likes, I will show you guys combos, and I'll take this to freaking locals for y'all. So 100 likes and I got y'all, bro. Keep that in mind. Let's go on to the extra deck, and then we're gonna wrap up this deck profile pretty easy. So now starting off with the links, only playing the one, which is the one SP Little Knight. I think it's the only one you really need. Extra deck space is very tight, but this card is too good not to play, and you usually do end off on this card on your field, along with like a Herald, a Crystal Wing, a Baron, etc. So like, yeah, SP Little Knight is super good to play. For the Exceeds, we are playing the one Gallant Granite, the one Photon Lord, and the one Dummy Vampire, because putting stuff in your graveyard is really key to making your big boards that you do need to make. So why not? If you want to run Hope Harbinger, you can. Like, if you can't afford this card, obviously Run Hope Harbinger, you know what I mean? Or this one is Run Hope Harbinger, but like, I have these cards to my access, so therefore, I'm going to play these cards, you know what I mean? That is it for those. Now everything else is just synchro, so we are playing the one Herald of Arclight. For the 6s, we are playing the one Raptite, and the other 6 is actually how we search out the reframing. We're playing the Mandium package, so we are playing the Mandium Trishtuska, and then we are playing the one Visas Amaranth. This is how you search this card out. It doesn't matter if it's in the deck. If you draw it, you don't gotta summon these, but you summon 6s all the time, so it's like, why not make this? You know what I mean? This gets you into an Omni Negate for your like board to like be like impervious is crazy. So yeah, I like this little engine in here, and yeah, it's super good too because it's a 4. It's a tuner also. So if you do have like a Queky Mir Guardian on your field with no rocks in your hand, you could just synchro summon with this and Queky Mir, then you can make a Baron. You know what I mean? And then you'll still have that level 2 that you brought back on the field. And then if you do have like the M-City stuff, you can like bring those back. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so much advantage that you can do in this deck, and I like it, bro. And now for the 8s, we are playing the one XL Stardust Dragon. This card is super good. This helps you go into Baron and other things. Obviously, Drageye. This Drageye is actually even more better in this deck because if you guys didn't know, Drageye has 2 effects besides the spell track card negate. You can also spin back non-target cards on. You can non-target spin back cards on your opponent's field by excavating the top 5 cards of your deck, and for every rock monster you do hit. So keep that in mind. This effect does not target, so therefore your opponent, bye-bye, you know what I mean? So that's it for those. And then for the last 8s, we are running the one Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon because going into this is very, very, very easy. So it's like, why not play it? Going to all the time. For the 10s, I am only rocking the one Baroness de Fleur. Baron's a cool card. We go into it every single game, negate your opponent's stuff, and then you just win. So the one Baron. Boen. Now for the 12s, obviously the one Crimson Dragon, the one Shinthrion Legatio. Card's cool. And then obviously the one Calamities, because again, like, believe it or not, like you summon both of these very consistently, and like in this build, like obviously, like for those who do know how this deck works, it does depend on whatever it is you do hit with your rocks. But again, keep in mind, you are running the Horus Engine. These are 8s. 8 plus your level 4 tuner makes it 12. You know what I mean? On summon of this, you'll search out your Synchro Rumble, and you can literally bring back, who would have thought, this guy, this girl, any of your tuners in the graveyard. It's so good. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can either make a big board to where your opponent can't stop you anymore, or you can make a Calamities Lock. The best part about this guy, even if you can't Calamities Lock while he's on your field, essentially your SP and your Herald cannot die by a battle. So him sitting there keeps them both safe because they're both under 2,000 attacks. So kind of keep that in mind. And on summon, he does draw you a card and pop a card on the field, on your opponent's field. So yeah, it's just a good card overall. I think pick this card up. It's like $8. Get it now. But yeah, man. Hope you guys did enjoy this super spicy deck profile. Make sure you do like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and I'll see you guys next time, man. Oh, join my Discord too, bro. Join that. Join it up. We're all active in there. But yeah, see you guys later, man. Have an awesome one. Peace.